This project's inspiration came from a recent family's passing. At her funeral, she had these beautiful yellow flower clusters. Let's start by cleaning the ends of our rods, making sure there's no imperfections or color left on there from previous works. Let's heat up a glob of glass to gather some frit. We're going to heat that frit into the glob of glass. Make sure to warm up your tools before smashing so it doesn't steal too much of the heat from the glass. We're going to flatten this piece out into a petal form. By attaching a punty rod to the petal while it's still hot, we're going to pull it apart and stretch it. These petals are thin enough they won't have to be annealed, so we're going to rest it on the rack when we disconnect it. And we're just going to make a bunch of these petals. I made 7 petals for each completed flower. We're going to take a couple for the center of the flower. We're going to curl in the edges of the petal just so it can grab onto its friend. We'll take those 2 center pieces and interlace them, making sure there's no gaps where the glass should be touching so it's all nice and connected. To get rid of that punty rod, you'll give it a little tap. Then we're going back in to heat it up. Now we're going to add another petal. Squishing it on there, getting rid of that punty rod, giving it a little tap. Now we're going to switch to a bigger punty so I can hold on to the flower better, because that little tiny punty was starting to wobble around too much. We're going to melt it all together, and we're going to start adding more petals. Getting rid of that punty rod now, giving it a little tap. Now just pressing in the petals to make sure there's no gaps in between the glass. Continuing to add more petals. Oh, looks like our glass wasn't strong enough for us. But we still got to get rid of that punty, so a little tap, and then we'll continue adding more petals. Now watch out whenever you're sticking on the petal so that it doesn't touch any of the other petals. You just want to kind of gently move it out of the way, and then give that punty a little tap.